Gang, welcome to another grind session here. Got my good friend John Corto with me. Played at Sacred Heart.
That's right.
Right? And played football there, then eventually played a couple years in the NFL for the Buffalo Bills. Went on to start his own business, he and his wife. So he's a current entrepreneur, successful entrepreneur, perfect for what we do here on the grind. We have a current business athlete and also an entrepreneur. So I figured we could just do a little bit of Q&A, with you and see if you could offer, some of our viewers some advice. So first off, maybe start off with your background in sports at Sacred Heart. What position did you play? What was that like for you? Were you a scholarship athlete? Were you a walk-on? And how did that whole transition, end up,
Sure.
For you?
I went to Sacred Heart because I was able to play both football and lacrosse. And it's funny because I had all these offers for lacrosse, but I didn't really care too much about lacrosse. I wanted to play football. And so I applied to get into all these different places to play ball, and everyone passed me up. I was small, was about 5'10", hadn't really hit a huge growth spurt yet. But Sacred Heart took a chance on me, and they brought me in for lacrosse, but the caveat was, hey, you can play football too. Yeah, so I played both sports there and did well in lacrosse, but it wasn't my love. So then I went over to football and just wanted to concentrate just solely on football. And it was a lot of hard work. It was a lot of discipline, a lot of getting up at 5 in the morning, lifting weights while people were still sleeping and stuff like that. But it helped you manage your time. Like I had, as a two-sport athlete, I had to definitely manage my time. I couldn't just be going out and partying. I had to be disciplined, stay focused.
Constantly.
But yeah, I think those types of things, doing them throughout your life builds that type of character to just, hey, one, never give up. Two, be on time, be disciplined. Those things are just paramount.
Speaking of never giving up, I think before we transition into what this meant, how this kind of translates into off the field stuff, what impresses me, about you is that, I know that it's less than 1%, of athletes, ever make it to the NFL. And it's not like, you had, you were at Alabama and you were 6'4", running a 4.2 40, type deal. And a lot of people come out with, ridiculous size, ridiculous speed, and I watched them not even make it, in the NFL. You know what I mean? And so how did that, what do you think it took for you? I think you were a free agent. Yeah. Right? And, the NFL stands for not for long, and just to make it, period. And then not only make the roster, but, I watched you play, you know what I mean? And play special teams and get in the game and all of that stuff, man. And I know that has to be something from the inside that carried you on the outside. Almost that stuff you can't teach. So what was that transition like? What do you think helped you make it on the team and stick around for a couple years while somebody else may have been, I've watched 3rd round draft picks not be there the following year. What does that look like?
I think part of it might be, having a little chip on your shoulder. Maybe it was the fact that, no big schools did want me going into college. No schools wanted to draft me, or no NFL teams wanted to draft me. I was from a small school. Everything I had to earn really the hard way and was used to kind of getting that rejection. So when I got to the NFL, I was even questioning, hey, I don't even know how I'm gonna stand up against these guys. But once I started to get out there on the field with them and I knew I could compete, that confidence starts to really grow. But I think when other guys would maybe give up because maybe they went to Alabama and they were coddled and told how great they were, I was never told that. So I was a guy diving for the ball in just a normal drill, and guys would be like, dude, is this guy crazy? Like, what's he doing? We're just playing like pat and go and he's diving for the ball.
Yeah, effort.
But I think the coaches, that was endearing to the coaches because they were like, hey, if I had another chance, that's how I would practice too. And, I think that definitely helped me. I think the grace of God, helped me out tremendously because there's a lot of people that should have made it above me. I'm not the most talented guy. I like to hit, I like to mix it up. I was a hard worker, but at the end of the day, I got, I got a blessing.
You would say you overcame that with, the blessing of the Lord, effort, more effort than everybody else. What else would you say stands out that maybe, helped you to make it in a situation that most people don't?
I think too, when times get tough, you have a decision to make. Every day you wake up, you have a choice to make. You can do something about it, or you can sulk and say, woe is me.
No doubt. No doubt.
I think even when I did get discouraged, I might get discouraged for a day, but then I say, okay, what am I going to do about it?
That's huge.
That's huge. And I think that's what's helped.
That's huge. I think transitioning over to business, I think everybody's going to have good times and bad times, and good days and bad days, and it's okay. But I think that the greats in business or in sports, it's like they have this umbrella that they'll kind of get under for a minute, but then they get right out of that umbrella, or out of that tent. They don't pitch tent in pain and sulking and sadness and sorrow and getting down. It's like, all right, we got to move forward. I watch some people in business have an obstacle or a setback, and within 2 days, 3 days, they're good. Be it some family issues or parent passed away or something. It's like, boom, that next week they're like ready to rock and roll, taking that pain out on something positive. And then I watch other people, their girlfriend, breaks up with them or something. It's like they're done. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like they're off the team.
Absolutely.
It's like,
yeah.
So that's huge. Why don't you talk a little bit about how your experience as an athlete has transitioned for you into your business? I believe is it still vending machines?
Yeah,
so spread those, out. How many vending machines do you have now?
Oh, we have 250 vending machines, and we've got this market concept which is growing for us. I think we have 6 or 7 different micro markets, which is like a healthier type option, right in a business environment like this. You know what I mean? We come in, we bring.
Is that mostly all in Buffalo?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the name of the company?
Buffalo Strive Vending. Well, when you're in sports, you compete, and in business, you compete. Every day, you get a chance to compete, and sometimes it gets tough. Sometimes you have rejection. You got to be able to come back from those things. As an athlete, you have tons of rejection. You might be going against Randy Moss. He's probably going to beat you on the go route. At least once that game. Mm-hmm. But it was amazing to watch some of the cornerbacks just have amazing swag, because they'd get beat and then they'd go out there and undercut a route and make a pick for a touchdown. You know what I mean? That kind of confidence is huge. I think that
gotta have short-term memory as a DB.
Yeah.
Same as a business owner, because sometimes you're gonna get beat deep.
You got to keep pushing forward.
No doubt. How about your experience? I think you've built a team. I think you've built an organization. As of right now, I don't know how many employees you have or how many people you have rocking with you. What's your experience been? Do you think it's helped you at all, being a teammate and then transitioning over into business, being a teammate or being a captain or being a leader, and how you serve people and how you work with others? Yeah.
One of the things I try to instill in the guys is that I've done every job in my business. And I think
it's important.
And I don't, I try not to make, although I am their boss, I don't make it seem like that. We are a team, you know what I mean? There's sometimes that I have to say, hey, this is the way we got to do things. But at the end of the day, we're all collectively trying to work towards an effort to become the best company that we can be. I think guys appreciate that. I think they know that, hey, yeah, John's done it, so we can't pull the wool over his eyes either. But at the same time, they respect that. And they know that I will get in the truck with them if we need to. And they know that I expect that, hey, we gotta serve these people, because that's part of our mission, is to serve others, So I think everyone's bought in. We got a great group.
What do you think it takes work ethic wise to be successful in business or as an entrepreneur?
People always want to talk to me about the NFL. I say that the hardest thing I ever did was start this company. There was, in the first couple of years of doing this business, I was literally on my back because I had packed the routes. I had went out and did the sales calls. I filled the machines. I did pretty much everything soup to nuts. And man, oh man, that time at one point felt like that was never gonna end. Like that grind. Well, you just keep.
When you say on your back, what do you mean? Like
literally,
like guard, like the jiu-jitsu?
No.
You on your back?
No.
What do you mean on your back?
Like literally, literally at 1
like
o'clock.
2 days?
Yeah, like at 1 o'clock in the morning when you're still not done and you're on your back because your back is on fire and you just put in, you know, at least 18 hours that day, you know, and that's been going on for the entire week. Yeah, I mean, you're like, okay, you know, this is for real. And so, yeah, people ask me today, what's the hardest thing you've ever done? And it is start this business, but it also is the most rewarding.
That's the way life is, right? You know,
right.
It's like the hardest stuff that you do, the more rewarding, the bigger the dream, the bigger the obstacle, right. the bigger the grind. And you know, it's like sometimes people will come in at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I was over your house maybe within the last couple years. I had to go get my passport. I lost my passport.
Right. Yeah.
And I had to come to Buffalo, and I got to hang out with you guys. And you know, beautiful family, man. You know, awesome wife, and you're a good father, man. You're a great husband, and you're spiritually grounded and rooted. And I don't even know if you know, your family or your wife or kids understand how much that means. But one day they will. Maybe they do right now. You know, but it's like, you know, I feel no one's perfect. You know what I mean? But you know, you're kind of hitting it out of the park, you know, in life, you know what I mean? And your beautiful house, beautiful family. It's like people come in and they see like the end of the movie, you know, even though it's not the end of the movie, this is like the middle of the movie.
They don't see all the losing going on, right?
The beginning of that on your back.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's I tell people that, you know, they're saying, well, I'm gonna try it out. I'm gonna try it. I said, you don't try the business out. No. The business is gonna try you out.
Yep.
You know, and I think it helped me. You know, even Tressel, talking to Jim Tressel is one of my mentors. He was like, man, sometimes those 1AA, those D2, you know, players, those T3 players, they have that still chip on their shoulder that translates great into business, man, because this business and business in general as an entrepreneur is going to try you. And you're going to have those periods where you're on your back in your 18-hour days and all of that stuff. And so what kept you going in that moment? What advice would you give to somebody that maybe they're in their 18-hour grind and they're on their back, you know, type deal? You know, what advice or inspiration would you give to those?
I would say keep the end in mind. You know, winners always do that. And even though things get tough, when you're keeping that end in mind, you can get through it. You have hope. I also would say, you know, during that time when you are grinding it out, try to live life and try to help others along the way, because it's easy to just get laser focused,
tunnel vision,
and not know what really life's all about. Mm-hmm. You know.
Yep.
Life's more than just work. However, you know what I mean. You got to work. You got to provide. You know what I mean.
No doubt. So, what do you have? A morning routine? Do you have any? You know, I know sometimes we'll share things early in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, you're one of the people I know's up, you know, real early. And,
yeah.
And you know, do you have you know, I know you're spiritually, you know, you're a believer. It's something that you're open about that I've discussed with you. You know, is there you know, any routine that you have, or what role do you think, you know, your spiritual values have played in building your business, and kind of, do you have a morning routine or any routine that you would suggest?
Yeah, I do. I have one of these flip cards, and it's got some Bible verses on it, so I start my day with that. Every Thursday morning at 5 a.m. I go to Eucharistic adoration, which is a routine for mine. But I also, you know, when I get up, sometimes I get up 4:30, 4, and I try to get to the gym by 5, and at least make time for that. There's been a time where in my grind mode where I kind of neglected the workout portion because I'm like, well, I got so much work to do. But I think I don't think it's a good move. I think you gotta have at least 40 minutes, because you can get it done.
I agree.
If you go in there and you're not messing around, in 40 minutes you can get a good workout in. And it doesn't have to be 6-7 times a week. If you do it 3 times a week and you get after it, you can get it done.
That's right.
So don't neglect that. And I definitely try to say some prayers in the morning and get the day right.
Awesome, man. You know, it's like I heard from Urban Meyer, talked to, you know, Tressel, and like so many of successful coaches, leaders, when I start asking these questions, I get the same result. I get the same answer.
Same answer.
I get the same answer.
You're probably getting sick of it.
You know, it's like I say mind, body, and spirit. You know, but I'm like hear them as they say it. It's like they're saying mind, body, spirit. You know what I mean? That's where I think is so key for a person that's going to run a business, because you know when you care about your business, you care about the people in that business. It's like more people, more problems, more things, more deaths, more sickness, more illness, more things going on, because you have 100 people, 100 kids, 200 kids, 300 family members. So it's like it's more chance of something causing some type of rock the boat. And I think the way to stay grounded on your grind in the pursuit of what it is that you're trying to do is to take care of yourself. If you don't take care of yourself, you can't be selfless, because you don't have anything to give. If you don't fill yourself up, it's going to be hard for you to fill everybody else up. It's like that morning part is your time to protect yourself and put your armor on, so you could go out there and handle and solve all the rest of the world's problems and stuff, man. So would you agree that that's
absolutely
been your experience?
Yeah, getting that stress out with lifting those weights and just a release from the everyday stress of things. Not to mention your health makes you a better dad, makes you a better husband, makes you a better business leader.
No doubt. So, in closing, I would ask you, if let's say there was everything about, you and your philosophies, what you think is like all erased, and you could only leave 3 things that you've learned about, being successful in any aspect of life, or and you can only leave 3 things to your kids, three pieces of advice to your children, and that would be it. What would those 3 things? What would those 3 things be that you would want to leave behind if it could only be 3?
Always put God first. Work hard and never give up.
Love it. Simple.
Yeah. 3
simple philosophies to live by. Put God first. Work hard. And never give up. Huge. I love it, man. Thank you for joining us, man.
Thanks for having me.
On the grind.
Been watching the grind for a while, so it's good to be a part of the show.
Come on, you're a beast, man. So when I got other beasts encouraging me, telling me that they're taking something out of it, it means a lot, man, because of who it's coming from, man. And you're somebody that I've grown to admire and care about and like, and every time I'm around you, it's like, man, we're like-minded. I wish we lived closer together. But Jenny, man, tell your wife I said hello, and
likewise.
We got to get a trip down there to Buffalo or bring you guys this way. And so good having you, man. Thanks for joining us on the grind, brother. Appreciate you.
Thank you.